Hey guys, wanted to record a quick video of doing a D4 any boss kill to kind of showcase that you don't really need a lot of gear to kill bosses as this build. Even though, having gear makes it easier, you can kill them faster, you can like DDD spam them from like 60% to dead or whatever, depending on how much mana you have. But yeah, I took off most of my items. I don't have enough bag space to really take off more, and my inventory storage is full. I have stuff equipped for instrument exaltations, and I guess the mana pres focus that you can get in like the zone in of split paw, basically. Um, yeah, I guess these are the raid instrument exalts, so they're a little bit more potent than vendor bot, but whatever. I can't like unallocate my AAs, which I have a lot of, but um, kind of just wanted to showcase what you can do if your character isn't like as geared as mine or whatever. So this isn't like a perfect representation of like a completely fresh guy, but hopefully it is enough to get the point across. Yeah, I'll do a quick buff really quick. One thing I want to point out, look at our HP number, look at our endurance, right? We're at 4,800 and 2,200. One of the reasons Cleric and Shaman is really good is because we get like 2,000 hit points from buffs, and we get like, what is that, 1,600 hit point, or 1,600 endurance from buffs, um, which is really powerful. I have more than enough HP to be able to land like full efficiency, promised renewal, um, with some wiggle room left over, right? Part of our HP comes from being ogre. A little bit of it is going to come from like natural durability AA, but if you have like items equipped on your character, you can probably get more than I have right now. So load our second buff set to do resist buffs, and then we're pretty good to go. We're just going to pacify our way to any. Um, but yeah, I'm also, since I can't like unmote my high level shaman spells, I'm going to be using the downranked versions of those, like the lower level ones, so Venom of the Snake, Curse, and I'll have to load Scourge when I get to the boss, um, instead of uh, like Odium and Venom Bolt and uh, Plague. Yeah, we can pacify all the way to any. I guess the one thing I will be using and like kind of taking advantage of the mode, having moded up, is the Bard Charm. Um, but I mean that's like a pretty. You should moat this up early if your character like has no items and you're trying to beat bosses. Um, yeah, you can over channel and pacify your way past everything pretty easily. Our Symphonic Aura, Int Wiz song to give us a little extra mana, Regen song, Guardian and Elemental Rhythms for resistances and a little bit of AC, and then I'm using the level 18 Denons to do a little bit extra damage. I'm not using the either of the slow songs because I don't want my pet to get slowed when it breaks, because if your pet breaks and then you apply a slow to it, it isn't going to do very much damage for the next, like, 24 seconds or whatever when you recharm it, which is a little bit rough. So if you are doing something like this, I'd kind of recommend you drop that, but it's fine because you're only fighting a boss and you have Shaman Slow. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this paladin guy as a pet. He already comes with a haste, so we don't have to worry about that, which is kind of convenient. If you noticed when I targeted any, he already has a buff because I wiped him earlier because my cat unplugged my keyboard when I had him at 5% HP. So yeah, this build is not it's pretty good, but it's not quite to the level of, you know, you can beat the boss with your keyboard unplugged with no items equipped. So yeah, that's kind of the limitations of it, I suppose. But we'll get Mallow up. Yeah, you can see this guy was my pet earlier. I guess I do have items on my pet, which, you know, maybe that's considered cheating or whatever, but yeah, I'm too lazy to make space, unequip more stuff and all that. So yeah, our pet is charmed, it's mallowed, we're not full HP, but I don't really care to get full HP because I just want to kill the boss and, you know, move about my day. We're gonna mallow it, we're gonna slow it. We don't need mallow up, so I'm gonna load Puma in this spot for the pet and for myself. Guess we can get some dots on. I like to let the pet tank a little bit, because it has the hit points to do that really safely, and it helps save our own mana and endurance or whatever. But yeah, we'll give the pet Puma, we'll give ourselves a Puma. Yeah, maybe we'll load regular Cannibalize to get some mana back while we're not taking damage. For fun. We could use the AA Canny, but like maybe you don't have that yet for some reason. But yeah, cast some dots on any. He's pretty poison resistant, so even with Overchannel and with him mallowed and our Venom of the Snake is moded up a little bit, it's gonna have a little bit of difficulty landing, but still shouldn't matter too much. Yeah, we can sing our chant songs for a little bit of extra DPS. But yeah, it's pretty laid back. Our pet breaks, so we can target it, over channel, recharm, and we're good to go. If I'm actually tanking the boss, I like to use Channeler Stance because it can be a little bit rough on your endurance sustain. To tank him the full time in evasive. But yeah, I mean, he's pretty like poison disease resistant, so it can be kind of hard to land those dots if you don't have moats in them. Even when he is mallowed. Yeah, we'll reapply our magic dot. We'll give another attempt to Scourge. It landed, which is cool. I like to go recovery stance whenever I do Promise Renewal just to lower the mana cost a little bit. And yeah. So he's healing. We can go evasive so he can't hit us. Wait for our Promise Renewal to go off, and look, we're safe. We're chilling. He's gonna be healing himself a little bit, so that's time that he is not spending doing damage to us. We'll try like one more Venom of the Snake. Didn't land even with Overchannel. Kind of unlucky, but whatever. Yeah, we can just go back to recovery. get some mana back. Probably want to do a better job of keeping your chance up, but yeah. Our pet breaks, so we go back to overchannel, we charm it, we send it back in. We go back to recovery. We promise renewal, and yeah. We can kind of just do this. I'm gonna sit in evasive for a little bit because his damage is actually kind of hurting our mana a little bit when we're in Channeler, but we've got a pretty good bit of endurance, so we'll re-slow him because our slow is gonna fade. We can back out, see if no, the pet don't have enough aggro. Yeah, go back to doing our songs. Our endurance is kind of low, so we'll hang out in Channeler. And yeah, from this point, it's kind of just let the pet and let your bard chance finish him off. We'll do another promise renewal to heal, and that is probably enough to get us across the finish line on this boss. Our poison chant isn't landing, which, you know, maybe we should have loaded something else for the really poison resistant guy, but we're kind of chilling either way. Go for the YOLO Venom of the Snake when we have no mana, because we're stupid and impatient, but overall we're still pretty safe. So our pet is going to break, we'll go back to evasive, we'll break it early. I'll just overchannel with some chance, but yeah, I mean, I didn't use AA canny, I didn't use the AADAs. I'm using lower level spells. Yeah, I mean, I guess my charm is ranked up, so, you know, maybe that's like cheating a little bit or whatever, but yeah. We finished with like half of our health, a little bit of blue and yellow bar. You know, we could have sent Canny 5 to get a huge chunk of mana back. We probably could have utilized our Divine Invocation a little bit. We could have not wasted like a bunch of mana trying to poison dot the really poison resistant guy. You know, there's a lot of room for improvement in what we did, so there's also a lot of room for improvement on items on our character, but yeah, hopefully that's like a solid showcase of like, hey, you don't need a lot to kill the bosses with this build. Yeah, I mean, maybe the investment that I do have is like, you know, more than I'm just gonna feign death off the pet, keep talking a bit without dealing with it, but yeah, I feel like this is a pretty, yeah, reasonable showcase for kind of downscaling the power of my character. You could probably do it without shaman dots at all if you really wanted to. You could probably just do the full like 5 chant lineup or whatever. Yeah. So hopefully if you're struggling with bosses, this kind of gives you some ideas of what you could change in your gameplay to be able to kill them on solo D4 mode. And yeah, thanks for watching, I guess. Good luck.